Hi ladies. All right, let's talk melting our tins, okay? Some of you may know this little trick, some may not. So we are going to actually melt some of mine down today so I can show you how to do it. I've found a couple little tricks along the way to help, but there's a couple reasons why you would melt down your tins. Number one, if you are starting to use your highlight color and you start noticing that metal start peeking through from the bottom of the tin, okay? Number one, you know that you need to place your refill order so it gets here on time so you don't run out, but you can melt down that tin to get every last bit of that highlight color and be able to use it all. So that's one reason why you would want to melt down your tins. If you are a penny pincher like me, get all the goodness out of it. Or if you start to find that maybe your contour is starting to get a little bit more hard versus creamy, okay? Because our contours last such a long time, and even our bronzers too, because they last such a long time, sometimes you might find that they get a little hard or they're just not blending as nicely as you would want on your face, okay? So that's another reason why you could melt down your tins. If you're like me and you're a little OCD, I just love the way that my tins look when they're nice and fresh. And I guess one other thing is I talk all the time about when you do your makeup to stipple your brush into it so you don't swipe it and get too much. So a lot of times when you are stippling down into your makeup, you might be compressing that cream a little bit more. So a lot of times we'll see that, especially with perhaps your contour color or even some of your bronzers. So that's what I want to show you today. I don't have any tins right now that are getting to the end. You could say my lip conditioner. So if your highlight color would look like that, then you can melt it down. So when you are melting down tins, the ones that you are allowed to do, okay? You can do your highlight colors, whether it's your brightening, your main, your color correctors, your contours, and your bronzer. Lip and cheeks, just be very careful. If it's a matte color, it's a little easier, but if it has a lot of shimmer or pigment in it, just be careful there that you don't want all that pretty shimmer to settle in it. So make sure you're stirring it up. Not with your illuminators. Of course, nothing with powders either. So this is primarily when I do it, I'm using my highlight colors, my contour, and my bronzer. Those are the main ones that I like to do. Okay. There's a variety of options. I'm going to show you one of them that I think is pretty fantastic. If you have a griddle, you could use a griddle. If you have a frying pan, a nice flat frying pan, you could do that. That's typically where I do it. However, this is a lot easier and it's easier to film for you. I've heard of a lot of women using their flat irons. I won't do that, and here's my reason. For me, it's not steady of surface. That flat iron could kind of wobble and shake. I don't want to risk losing my highlight color. So typically I'm either on a griddle or frying pan at my stovetop, very low heat, or you could use a candle warmer. Or here's a trick that I'm going to do today. And I'm going to turn so you can see this. Of course it's black because that's how I do things. Let me put this underneath so that way you guys can kind of see it pop off a little. This is my coffee warmer. So I have one of these little coffee warmers in my office because I'm one of those who I get sidetracked and I forget to drink my coffee. So this is a little coffee warmer. I found it on Amazon, so it's really cheaply priced. So if any of you want the link, I can give you the link. But I found that this is really good. So it just has this little button that you press and it's gonna start warming up here, okay? So let's come into my colors. Hopefully you ladies can see what I'm doing. Where did I put, there we go. Let's, we'll do a couple of them here. So I'm just gonna come in, let's pop out my brightening color. And I wanna do my contour for sure. And the other one that I really want to do is my Bella bronzer because it has been not as creamy as I would like. And that's because I tend to stipple down on it so you can see that it's more compact. So I'm going to stick with these three and just stick them right here on the warmer. All right. And then I always have a piece of paper towel. You could use microfiber cloth too, and toothpick. You can either use little tweezers, or if you are in the kitchen, you could also use like a tongs or something like that. Okay, can we see this good? All right, so you can already see, let me just bring you a little closer real quick, that they're starting to melt. Okay, so the creams, remember, this is why we don't leave them out in summertime in warm cars, because they will melt. It is cream. But you can see they're starting to melt right now. You could just totally let them melt. Once you start to see it going all the way through, turn it off and let them cool. I like to come in with my toothpick and kind of clean it up too, because a lot of times we may get dust or debris that fall into it when we are doing our makeup. So, and I just take that toothpick and kind of move everything around in here. And I just give a little bit of a stir. And then that way, if there's any debris or any fuzzies, any hair, you can just easily pull it out. Okay. And then I just wipe it off like that. I'm going to, my Bella's not warming up as much, so I want to kind of move these around. All right, how simple was that, right? We're gonna get Bella in there. All right, I'm gonna stir up my contour. My contour is the one that I find most of the time has some little hair or dust. I think because I stipple so much. So I'm just going to, if you can see, just kind of move it around, make sure that I have it nice and clean. So that way when it dries, it'll re-harden and it'll look super pretty. Okay, so those are good. You can tell that I didn't clean my little coffee warmer much because you can see some of the debris. All right, here we go with Bella. So you can see that Bella's starting to heat up now. So I'm gonna just turn this off. It's kind of cool. This, like on this can or on this coffee warmer, there's a little like cool button too. So it's gonna start cooling off the plate for me. So that way these will start to cool off and then I can transfer them off. But you can tell I've had debris in this and some hair. So now it's nice and clean. So that's why I like using my toothpick, and I just want to kind of clean it up a little bit. You definitely don't have to. If you just kind of want to warm it and let it just all kind of settle back into the middle, you could definitely do that too. You don't have to take this extra step. But I like to just make sure all that color is full and I don't have any hair. Especially when my kiddos like to play and do their makeup. They aren't as careful as I am. Okay, now it is cooling, so you could let it cool on here, just like that. Or if you are doing it on a frying pan, just remove it from that burner. Just be very careful though, okay? Because these will, because they're not totally cool yet, you don't want them to, this is my little trick, because my demi palette is about the same size and I really want these to cool off right away. I can just slide these right over here and now they're gonna cool, okay? And I just did one previously, so I can kind of show you. And I want to get this one little spot here. There we go. You can tell that I'm getting low on my brightening color. So at least that way, I know that I need to reorder it soon. But then this is how it looks when it's cool. I just did one right beforehand. So once it cools then, look at how nice that looks. See? Now it's brand new. First time that you're gonna use it, especially that contour color or that bronzer, if you are melting down those tins, they're gonna be super pigmented, which is awesome. So just make sure that you don't use as much, right? Because all that pigment is kind of just flowing in there ever so nicely now. So that's how we do it. Super simple. But if your contour is ever getting a little too hard or not creamy enough for you because they last so long, just come and do this little trick. Put it on either candle warmer, my nice little coffee warmer here, or on the stovetop. Let them melt down. I like to come in with my toothpick, stir it up a little bit. I like cleaning things up and having them nice and clean. And then once they're totally cool, then you can come back and put them into your compact, okay? And then you're all set. Penny pincher. There we go. That's my Tip Tuesday. I hope you ladies enjoyed. Any questions, let me know in the comments.